Cell phones, class 2B carcinogen, World Health Organization, 6 years ago, right? Same as smoking. Same as smoking. But how do cell phones cause cancer? How do they cause cancer? The industry tells us they don't, right? Yet Ted Kennedy died from glioblastoma. John McCain's going to die from it. Lots of people are dying from it. But the industry says no. Because hopefully you saw Del Bigtree's brilliant presentation yesterday of how pharma, it was great, how pharma is controlling, you know, most everyone here knows this, the control they have over federal regulatory agencies. Well, I want to tell you, the telecommunications industry is like 7 times bigger. You thought pharma was controlling the show. Telecommunications is controlling it on steroids. They've got the federal regulatory agencies wrapped around their fingers. Not only that, but just like pharma, when you go up against the grain and you say and tell the truth, you are immediately discredited, you are defunded, and telecommunications industry is so powerful, they will spin up 10, 20 other studies that they control the researchers and will debunk the truth. So that's what happens. And their current statement and belief, and the public health authorities and the physicians are telling you that there is no damage, that it only works by thermal effects. Have you heard that? Thermal effects. It heats, just like a microwave. Well, fortunately, we know the answer to how cell phones cause cancer. It's something called a voltage-gated calcium channel. Has anyone ever heard of that? That's surprising. Does anyone read my newsletter? You got to start reading it more carefully and don't scan it. Because I've interviewed Dr. Paul on this topic, and I've written about it quite extensively. In fact, this is the topic of my next book, called The EMF Extinction, which comes out next year. Just in the process of starting the writing. I've been finishing the 100-page outline. And I'm confident that it's an extinction because these voltage-gated calcium channels, the highest density they have, are in the brain tissue, in the heart, and in the reproductive organs. And those are the tissues gets decimated by exposure to this EMF radiation. And what does that mean? It means we have, on one end, half of the population coming down with Alzheimer's. On the other end, half of the population coming down with autism. And in the middle, half of us being infertile or sterile. And if that continues to worsen, what is going to happen to the species? So anyway, Dr. Paul wrote a landmark paper in 2013 where he looked at 24 calcium channel blockers studies that looked at this in how it impacted the in vitro cells or the animal studies that they were done in the reactions to EMF. And what happened is it almost obliterated the response. In other words, it protected them, which caused him to understand that these voltage-gated calcium channels are the way that cell phones and microwave radiation cause cancer and other forms of EMF. Let me just go over it in a moment to help you understand this. These voltage-gated calcium channels are embedded in the cell membrane. Their purpose is to transfer calcium ions from outside the cell inside the cell. Calcium, intracellular calcium, is an incredibly important and powerful biological signaling molecule that we need. The problem is, when you stimulate it in high doses, it causes lots of problems, primarily massive oxidative damage that causes free radicals, which then go on to decimate cell membranes, mitochondrial DNA, mitochondrial proteins. It just screws up your body on steroids. So, now we're told that the effects are only thermal, but that only impacts the charged particles inside and out the cells. What it fails to incorporate are these voltage-gated calcium channels, which is what the EMF fields activate. They open up the calcium channels. And how much more sensitive do you think these channels are than the charged particles inside or out the cell, which actually do respond to thermal radiation? 10 times more? 100, 1,000, 100,000, a million. Well, Dr. Paul also has degrees in biophysics, I think from Caltech or one of the prestigious universities, and he did the calculations and found out that these channels are 7 million times more sensitive than the charged particles. Now, what the heck does that mean? It's a big number, right? It means that the safety factor standards, the safety standards established, are off by a factor of 7 million. 7 million is extraordinary. And you're not going to hear about it because of this, the telecommunication lobby. Now, they impact us, they impact animals, your pets. It's the reason why pets die from cancer. And plants. Even plants have these voltage-gated calcium channels. But here's one I didn't know until recently. Some of you are wiser than me and knew it. But they affect our microbiome. Our gut microbes communicate through the similar mechanisms, and when you expose them to EMF, you cause major problems. Now, microwave EMFs. Your cell phone, you may not realize, well, first, when did microwaves become invented? They were found out about during World War II for radar, okay? And in fact, the first radar range, right, was from radar that was in Manna, right after World War II. They were big and expensive, and that was a disaster for a marketing term, so they made it the microwave oven. The microwave oven is without a doubt the single most important source of microwaves inside your house. It's the most dangerous. So remember the exercise with the flax, right? Where you identified that neighbor or relative you don't like? So promise me when you go home that you're going to give that microwave oven in your house to that person, okay? Promise me. You do not need it. Now, I am not opposed to cooking food, but a microwave steam convection oven, a steam convection oven by Cuisinart is a good one on Amazon. You can put it in that hole that you leave, and you can easily cook and comfortably cook it, and you won't be radiating yourself. These are far more dangerous than cell phones. So none of that.
That's amazing information from our good friend Dr. Joseph Mercola. We hope that you learned a lot from this video.
If you did, please share this on your social media and let your friends and family know about the truth about cancer. Thank you, and God bless.